If you've been with our channel for any good stretch of time, you'll have noticed that there's been quite a bit of Elden Ring footage that's been in many of the videos. And if you didn't know what that game footage was, well, I'm telling you right now, it's Elden Ring. Yep, I am still playing my way through this game. I don't have tons of time to dedicate to playing it because I'm writing, I'm here on YouTube, and taking care of stuff in my own personal life. When I do get the chance to play, I do enjoy playing this game that utterly crushes my soul. But I do enjoy it right here. It's been a challenging experience, and I've relished the chance to actually have a game that really does challenge me, that makes me angry at times, that makes me think in ways I haven't thought before, and learn a skill that I really haven't had much acquaintance with ever before. I'm not that big of a gamer, especially as those who have watched some of my footage have attested to. Say, if you want the real good gamer here in Camille's Harem, you'll want to talk with Nathan. He's excellent. But gaming is not really my thing. Writing is. And so I want to talk a little bit about what Elden Ring has helped me to realize about writing as I've been playing throughout the game, despite the many criticisms that it's gotten about its story being way too loose and vague for most people to buy into other than the constant murdering. Hi there everyone, Lars here from Camille's Harem, not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers, because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And what I want to talk about when it comes to Elden Ring is that its strength is in how open its storytelling is. Now, there's definitely, I think, some good criticisms for how it's hard to tell what the true underlying story of the game is, that you really have to dedicate so much of your time to hunting out all the little bits of dialogue, looking at all of the different items, knowing how to look at all the different items, and really playing through as much of the game as possible in order to piece together everything on your own without going to hours upon hours worth of YouTube content to try to figure out what the heck is even happening within the story. I think that is a valid criticism, and yet going through all of those experiences yourself gets you invested in this world. And especially if you're looking for the story, you begin latching onto some of the interesting characters and some of the interesting bits of Elden Ring history and lore that really set you up for some amazing quest lines and some amazing reveals throughout the game. And this is where I think video games have a unique strength that shows and books and movies and comics just don't have. And that is that the audience can truly become engaged by themselves being in the story, by being part of the story, by influencing everything that happens within said story. This is one of the things that more open world building video games are able to do really, really well, especially with greater casts of characters and all the different choices that you have and so on and so forth. And while I would absolutely love to engage more in that kind of storytelling because I think it really gets people really invested in whatever it is that you're trying to sell them, it's hard to be a video game developer. I don't know how to program. And I know that it takes tons of time to work. And to work all that stuff out, it requires loads of money, loads of skill, loads of time that I just don't have. So as an author who wants to have more engaging stories where the audience definitely participates, how the heck am I supposed to do that? I actually do have an answer. October is coming up pretty soon, and every October I do a choose your own horror adventure story for family and friends. And in the past I've tried to also make this available to other people, whether it was the students that I was teaching or people here on YouTube. And I have an ambitious program that I'm going to be slowly revealing throughout the next month, where I think you guys will really enjoy this engaging storytelling experience where you guys will get to learn about these various characters, learn about this world I'm going to place you in, and where your choices will determine the outcome of the story. That's the Choose Your Own Horror Adventure story. Put a pin in that. I will be returning to it later on. But coming back to Elden Ring, again, I really do feel like it is a big strength to the game's credit that you can get so invested, that you have so much freedom and autonomy. Now then, I have been watching kind of how to do videos and whatnot, learning about the different quests and the different places you can go, and then I've been doing things at my own pace, at my own speed, in my own order, and it's been a whole lot of fun. I've been able to imagine myself going into the lands between, dying thousands of times, and trying to succeed in my quest of getting all of the different great runes to bring them together to ascend to the status of Elden Lord. And oh, you better believe I'm after Ronnie. That is the end game that I am going for right there. I have worked my butt off for that quest line, believe you me. But this is, again, where I just think that Elden Ring has a lot of strength to it, that you can just get so invested in this game and in this story if you are willing to put in the time. Yes, it is really grueling. Yes, it is very open. And in some places, it is incredibly vague. And that can be very frustrating, and it isn't for everyone. I will full on admit that. Souls games are not for every gamer. And as someone who isn't a gamer, oh boy, I think that the people who've made Elden Ring, if they knew who I was, if they knew my story, they'd just be all like polite clapping. We're all like, you keep going, you. Like, you're not Guts. You're nowhere near as cool as Guts from Berserk, but at least you're struggling through this, man. You're not giving up. You're still playing. Good on you. We'll throw you a party when you're done. Oh boy, this guy's hopeless. But we love him anyway. That's how I feel the developers of Elden Ring would feel like, how they would react if they saw my year-long struggle through Elden Ring. But this entire process to me has been worth it, as I've gotten to know some of the characters within the game. Again, I'm all about that Mistress Ronnie right there. I'm all about that, but I also really like the Millicent questline. How long it is, how you keep finding this poor girl who's just been wandering the lands between, and how you learn more about her tragic backstory, her tragic fate, the people who are trying to pull the strings and everything. And I still haven't yet completed her quest line, at least as of the recording of this video, but it's been fun playing through Millicent's quest. And it's also very interesting playing through the Bloody Fingers quest, when you get to meet all of these different people who have just been butchering their fellow Tarnished across the lands between. There are some sad stories right there of the people who have betrayed their fellow Tarnished, of the Tarnished who tried to kill these murderers. What exactly have they been doing? How have they gone insane? And you realize that this brutal world that continues to crush you as the player, in many ways, you are different from all of these other characters because you continuously keep going, and you're not just turning into this raving lunatic who's now just like, well, I can't win no matter what, so I'm just going to go off and do whatever. And oh boy, there's some horrifying things that some of these other players and characters have done. Yeesh. And it is also sad and informative to learn about the greater history of the lands between, of the demigods, of the royal family, their various struggles, what happened to different kingdoms and different towns and whatnot. The lands between that are supposed to be so filled with people, and many times feel empty other than the monsters that you come across, because of the long, harsh history of war that has led to this point. And as you learn about the interference of various gods and whatnot, you begin to realize, like, wow, there's some really messed up stuff. And again, it's why I kind of like the Ronnie questline, because even though she's not the best person that you're going to come across in the story, her line of thinking of trying to get away from this system that has caused so much death and destruction and giving everyone a chance to kind of start over new, well, that makes a whole lot of sense. And yet there are other characters as well who make a good argument for trying to fix the Golden Order or supplant the Golden Order with another order of death and rebirth. And so it creates this philosophical conundrum that you as the character can interact with. And again, that is a strength that video games have that shows, books, and movies just don't quite have. They can leave you with plenty of questions that you can discuss with other people or think about yourself, but in a game, you get to play out those discussions through your actions. And that's something that I find really endearing and really powerful when it comes to video game storytelling. So, in conclusion, despite how much I suck at this game and how hard it is, I've enjoyed it. I think it's been a really good experience for me to play through Elden Ring. Plus, it also means I get easy footage to use. Haha! And I think that there's a whole lot more that needs to be said about video game storytelling, how it is its own thing. There are many skills and qualities and tropes and whatnot that are used in other mediums that are definitely used in video games. But because video games can be way more open, way more engaging, way more interactive, I feel like that's a storytelling strength that has yet to be fully utilized by the people who create the storylines for some of these open world video games. It's a discussion that I would love to have with video game developers and really see where people are willing to go with this. There are some games like Mass Effect that have definitely taken this to kind of like the degree of what people think is possible, but I believe that we can go even further, and that the Souls games have actually some of the greatest potential to really take us to where we could go with character building, with world building, and with audience interaction through our choices as we play. So those are my thoughts. Those are my observations. That's my experience. Let me know what you think, especially if you've been playing Elden Ring. If you have played Elden Ring, let me know about my horrible gaming skills down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your criticisms there. In any case, if you would like to support what we do here at Camille's Harem, then please like, share, subscribe. And check out the books that we have published. Links for them are in the description below. That would really help us out if you read our books, if you rate them. That does a whole lot of good for us. But other than that, just thank you so much for joining us on this incredible adventure that we call writing. And until the next video, y'all, tschüss.